It's the most important time of the year. Sports. Slapshot and sideline rack with Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats celebrates fandom with rewards like free tickets, surprise seat upgrades, even annual birthday deals. And you earn rewards with every purchase. From jump ball to final buzzer, Vivid Seats are the experiences that matter to you. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Give the gift of Vivid Seats this holiday season. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
It's just you and everything and Tommy John each day. Remember, it's the perfect gift to give this holiday. Just save the some discomfort when you're under such a break. Get a Tommy John for comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. Get a Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Tommy John, I know them. Over 20 million pairs sold. We always better get off our shelves and make some comfort and joy.
All through love and light, Tommy John's happy born. Underwear and loungewear upon each pressing board, making everyone come to this party they enjoy. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Santa's not the only one that's sad, you know. Upgrade boys with Tommy John. See 25% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. 25% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details. So comfortable.
Boy, a nice win on the road. By the time this one was winding down, this building was stone cold silent. And that's exactly what you got to do. You have to try to take the crowd out of it. All right, Alex, sports time. Hey,
Why? Is it Thursday?
I'm Nick DeLuca. Baseball's hot stove heating up. All eyes on Shohei Ohtani's next move in free agency. The Yankees have their attention on Juan Soto. Yankees and Padres inching closer to making one of the game's biggest stars ever. Well, nothing is official yet. ESPN MLB insider Jeff Passan says the expectation is that it gets done.
Everybody involved at this point expects the deal to go through, but of course, until it is officially official, and we have seen trades blow up this late. The expectation, though, is that that will not happen. That Juan Soto, the three-time All-Star, arguably one of the best hitters in the major leagues, is going to be a New York Yankee at the end of the day.
Passan joining SportsCenter. The Angels are in agreement with reliever Adam Zimmer on a one-year, $1.65 million contract. According to Passan, Zimmer was non-tendered by the Blue Jays early this offseason. Team taking a flyer on the 33-year-old struggled to a 7.40 ERA across 20 2/3 innings, dealing with injury last season. History on the table in women's college hoops. Iowa and Iowa State tonight. Hawkeyes Caitlin Clark coming in just 22 points away from becoming the 15th player all time to reach the 3,000-point mark. Would be the first since Iowa State's Ashley Jones. Clark is 7 points away at the break, has 15 so far tonight. Number 4, Iowa, tied with Iowa State, 34 all at the half. The game on ESPN TV.
Hey, it's Greeny, and we are bearing down on what might be the biggest weekend of the NFL season, including the Chiefs and Bills and Cowboys and Eagles, and we will turn our attention to Week 14 in a big way Thursday morning. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
From Miami, Florida, to Dallas, Texas.
Jalen Duran of the Grizzlies will not be denied tonight. Most of the season high rebound told and drew some people around the way. Jalen Duran was killed on the glass last game. Throwing elbows, boxing out, collecting a season high 20 rebounds. The Bulls, Ashburn Syndergaard was on a mission last game, posting a season high 31 points. Bulls Nation, how about our Syndergaard last night? Total beast, posting a season best 31 points. Morant scoring 32 and helped the Kings hold all Bucks in overtime. Exciting win over the Bucks in overtime tonight. Finals 156 to 154.
He's fixed and we're ready to go, huh? Yeah, not quite. It'll be interesting. He claimed about this opportunity, and there's not any truth to the report that he was reluctant about taking this gig. I think again, I'm not so sure about that, but he's got it for the last 5 games.
So what is the real truth behind everything that happened in the last 48 hours? Because we had Aaron Rodgers going on Pat McAfee saying that any leaks that were out there should be disgraceful and that the reporting's wrong. But Rob, when he was on ESPN New York on Monday, when he was asked about this, he didn't completely deny that Zach Wilson was hesitant about wanting to start another game after the team went back to him when it felt like they weren't going to. And then the 13-8 loss to the Falcons happened. How much truth do you think there is to the fact that Zach Wilson might have been thinking about his own future in terms of wanting to protect himself and not play anymore for the Jets this year?
Yeah, no one except Zach Wilson has denied the story. And as you pointed out, Robert Saleh didn't deny the story. None of the other people I've talked to have denied the story. They all say, like Robert Saleh has said since Monday and said it again today, Zach wants the ball. So Saleh's just basing it on what Wilson told him directly. From what I've been told, I think Zach did talk to some teammates or teammates about, the next few games and how he should approach it, and asking for some advice. That's what I told that happened. And somehow that got leaked out, that he was hesitant about it. And I think he was hesitant about it, knowing that he's probably going to be playing for a different team next year. He wants to preserve his off-season value, so I'm sure injury is a concern. A lot of players across the league this time of year, they're playing on losing teams, are thinking about their long-term future and trying to stay healthy. So I made that comment to a team building, and it got leaked out. And that's why no one has denied it. No one has denied ever saying that today.
Rick's meeting here with us on Everyday Working from Infield and Ian tonight. Rich, this is a 24-year-old player in Zach Wilson who has been through a lot here over his last couple of seasons. And his teammates were wearing T-shirts of the other quarterback in Mike White while playing last season. He was being toggled back and forth with Mike White from the coaching staff. Then there was the Tim Boyle experience this year, not to mention Aaron Rodgers at times taking the attention away, warming up unnecessarily on the sidelines while he's rehabbing from surgery. It's been a lot on Zach. How has Zach looked in the locker room at this point? Because last season it wasn't good, especially when he said the word no. Is it any different at this point? Does anybody in that organization feel bad for him that he's got the shoulder arrested?
Yeah, I mean, he really did a good job on delivering all the Chiefs here. It's been a really tough 3 years. And a lot of it was don't do it. I mean, because we have never played but that's the first part of it. I think his standing in the locker room was actually better than last year. I think there was some technical problems last year between Joey Hill coming over the locker room back. There was definitely backlash last year. In fact, last year got to the point where he actually stood up in front of the team and tears and apologized. So he said a lot of things that they were saying. I think, my own personal observations, he was a little bit too aggressive than he was last year. I think he learned from that. I think it hurt the back of Heather too. He's more mature.
Thanks very much, guys. Now, it's no secret at the end of quarters, players
like
wait
better
until
than
just
they did
after
last
the
year.
buzzer
So I
sounds
think he
to
thinks
fire
for
up
that
the
area.
engines
Perhaps
so
he
the
could
hope and fill the
work from Aaron Rodgers.
to encourage a
But,
nothing
being a nice guy in the locker room can only take
Many
you so
say it's
far.
past
It's
time
production,
that the league
production
counts
business,
for mistakes.
and he just has not produced on the field.
Rodgers, we are now 1 week into his 21-day window to either off of injured reserve or go onto the first season and begin treatment. Where is he right now? What is the latest?
Smith is out there with Tatum. Then it's
Practice today, which I thought was a bit of a surprise
and
because
it's August game, and it's a two-yard stop. Now the Flyers are joined the rest during All-Star weekend. And right now, they should be moving their way to the season.
So he did not practice today. And that was a little surprise that this is just part of his rehab schedule. I don't think there's any chance we're going to see him. I didn't think give as much of a chance a few weeks ago
Here's
just
Curry.
because of the nature of the injury and timeline, and now they're done. They're not making the playoffs. They haven't been that.
It's rebounded by Dallas. They're on the
prepared for
first
that.
the ball.
There's really no play. I think
There's
quarterbacks
Augustine.
play,
And
and
it's
so I
Foster
think
with the
when that
rebound.
21-day window expires in another 14 days,
Again, it's Watts.
it'll be at the end of the Aaron
And
Rodgers
that'll be 2 free throws coming up.
ESPN Jets reporter Rich Cimini, thanks so much, Rich.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Amber and Ian is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and auto protection families. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. Zach Wilson also spoke today, Courtney, so we heard directly from him about these next 5 games that he'll be starting, even though there had been reports out there from The Athletic that this is not at all what he wanted to do. Here's Zach Wilson on if he views these last 5 games as an audition.
I think anytime you have an opportunity, you're putting on for every team to do, whether that's here in New York or anywhere. I mean, it's not my option to choose what happens, right? But I do have the opportunity to control what happens on the field, at least from my play and my decision making. And so, I really think the focus is just going out there and playing the best I can. I don't think I need to think of it as, if I do this, then maybe someone will give me a chance, or maybe the Jets will keep it. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I'm out there to help this team, to focus on competing, because that's what I love to do. I love spending time with these guys in the locker room every single day.
So that was a full acknowledgement. Maybe New York or most likely to be somewhere. So
And on the 2 kicks.
There was a lot of self-awareness in there, which I know, and what Rich just told us too. He's got better at, of course, you go back to last year when he wouldn't take over the team, which was the team were out around his wife, optics-wise, from Zach Wilson. He's learned a lot from that moment, and he came through for sure in that soundbite that you just heard. It also did not deny the fact that those reports have some validity to them, maybe a whole lot of validity. He didn't come out and say, I never said anything about not wanting to play, all of that. So I do believe, in kind of circling back to what Rich just told us, that maybe he was sorting through this idea. What do I do? You heard it there. He has no clue if he's going to be, where he's going to be next year. Very clearly doesn't sound like he's going to be the New York Jets. How do I best handle myself now in the short term for my team, but also protect myself for the future? And it sounds like those conversations ended up making their way out of one Jets drive. That is what happens. That is what comes with the territory of being a market like that, but also being a quarterback for an NFL team. What he can do in these final 5 games is push these comments to the side by playing to the best of his ability. Now, it's going to be difficult considering he probably is going to get out-dueled by a rookie quarterback this week in C.J. Stroud. But if he's going to keep trying to audition for 31 other teams right now, his changes will be made in the offseason. He's got to put his best foot forward. He can't have clunkers the way that he did against Buffalo most recently. The last time we saw him out there, and so many other games throughout his career. This is a prime opportunity to show that you can rise up all of the crap you deal with, whether it's self-inflicted or something that's completely out of your control. To show another team, hey, if we bring this guy in the building, he's going to be a good team player. Flush his way out of the backup role and be a starter. But they've got to know, thinking of your contract. Remember, he still has a lot of guaranteed money left as a former number 2 overall pick. That it's going to be worth the investment for Zach Wilson. There's a lot at stake here, despite the fact that this team is a little bit out of the playoffs.
Or the Jets might have to eat some of that if he can't prove that. I just think it's possible for Zach Wilson at this point to have a sign of success there while I have no idea whether he will somewhere else or what the rest of his NFL career is going to look like, right? There's maybe a long one ahead of him. I have no idea. What I do know is it's been such a mess in New York. And if I was him, I would want them out of there as fast as I could, because they have just done nothing, I think, to help him get better, or even to help him really turn along the way. It just feels like he's been counted out, and devoted every single turn. And so now that's they're kind of like throwing him a bone here at the end of the season here. They just come back in the last 5 games after the Tim Boyle experience. And it was the dumbest thing. There was no reason to ever go to Tim Boyle. You're not going to get anything out of Tim Boyle. He was never going to flat answer. And he could have just written out these guys see this entire time. And then at the end of the season, still moving on. Coming up next year, I'm Amber and Courtney Cronin filling in for Ian. The NBA in-season tournament semifinals are tomorrow night, right here on ESPN Radio. How did we get there? Let's
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman coming up Thursday. Michael Parsons said he could be Tyreek Hill's quarterback. I'll tell you why he's completely disrespecting Tua. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPN.
Scoring through contact is something Chris Davenport has got to do in the Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but it's 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Never easy to stop this guy at the rental, but that is extremely prescribed right there. 100% unmatched process and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, added to 95% off. That's right, get generic Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, for 95% off. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, with zero copay. No testing and do that through face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Texas Skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You can turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/OT and use code OT. That's code OT at prizepicks.com/OT.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more connecting online, and more personal info potentially being exposed to identity thieves. But with a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist, you don't have to face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other losses from identity theft all alone. If your identity is stolen, we'll work it. Backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Spend more time on holiday fun, not identity worries. Save up to 25% your first year. Go to lifelock.com/sports.
Ever dream of hitting the road in your own customized Mercedes-Benz Sprinter? At ESPN, we dream that dream, and with the help of Mercedes-Benz, we made it happen. Our own Jim Mata teamed with Mercedes-Benz designers to create a fully functional, state-of-the-art podcast studio on wheels. Microphones, cameras, and a deluxe conversation space legitimately interviewing some of the biggest names in college football. Then if you see the Sprinter out of the gate, you'll notice a little extra, the tailgate setup, complete with grill, cooler, TV monitors, and more. To get an inside look, visit mdvans.com/SprinterLabs. The Mercedes-Benz ESPN College Football Podcast Sprinter. Coming soon to a game near you. Every college football season, Goodyear knows the importance of winning on the road. The road will always demand confidence. The confidence to handle whatever the journey brings and to perform under tough conditions. And just like the players and fans of college football, Goodyear is ready. Are you ready for the road? Visit Goodyear.com to find the right Goodyear tires for whatever road you are on this season. Goodyear, more driven.
Smith inside. Back to Tatum. Pocket 4. Williams thanks for 2. Porzingis with the rebound.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
Curry passes it. Tatum left in the line, standing front corner. Pulls up from 15. Praise BI. Start singing, baby. Viva Las Vegas. We're coming. The New Orleans Pelicans have come to Sacramento and won the in-season tournament quarterfinal.
that has been just real about this NBA in-season tournament. Courtney Cronin filling in for Ian Fitzsimmons tonight here on Amber and Ian. You can find her at Courtney R. Cronin. You can find me as well at Amber W Sports. And then there were four, Courtney. We are down to 4 teams in this NBA in-season tournament. The Pacers and the Bucks, the Pelicans and the Lakers. Those semifinals tip off tomorrow night. You'll be able to hear those games right here on ESPN Radio. But we started this tournament all the way back on November 3rd. So this thing has been going on for an entire month now. Let's reminisce about how we got here.
An in-season tournament had been an idea discussed by NBA officials for a long time. And finally, in a world where the NFL is king and the league wanted to make the regular season mean just a little bit more, the NBA Cup was announced for the 2023-2024 season. Commissioner Adam Silver told Good Morning America why the tournament was so important.
Frankly, there's so much competition, there's so much interest in sports, particularly this time of year. There's a lot of college football going on, obviously the NFL. So it's just an opportunity to break through a little bit, to take games that we were already playing, but add something special.
And so far, it's been a success. We've had big games from big name players. Steph dropped 30 on the Thunder. KD went for 38 against the Jazz. LeBron dominated the Blazers with 35.
A wild sequence in which LeBron bails the Lakers out again.
We had breakout performances from emerging stars like Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox,
Fox against Sylvan from Sabonis. Drives it, plants, reaches, scores. 41 points tonight, a season high for De'Aaron Fox.
and Tyrese Maxey.
Puts up a three and drains it. 12 points all of the second quarter for Tyrese Maxey.
There have been high-profile matchups like LeBron versus KD and Luka versus the Joker.
Puts up a three.
Surprise teams advanced early.
Just a spectacular night of offensive basketball from both teams. And in the end, Indiana just slightly more spectacular than Atlanta.
And Draymond was, well, Draymond.
Draymond Green has been tossed from this game. He'll be fine for that too.
Unapologetically Draymond.
The foul comes from 2 minutes defense anytime because how long that opposition to
There was also some controversy about whether it was or wasn't okay to run up the score.
They got to deal with the rules too. You know, if they're trying to get into Vegas, there's things that they got to do. You know, and for me, it was just the fouling. And Joe was great when I talked to him. He understood, and you know, he didn't want to. He wasn't trying to do anything, but I also understand the situation he's in terms of they're trying to get to Vegas.
And now, with the Pacers, Pelicans, Bucks, and Lakers all picking up wins in the quarterfinals earlier this week, the semifinals are set, and you can hear them right here on ESPN Radio.
They're all trying to get to Vegas, and those 4 teams certainly have. So coverage will begin right here on ESPN Radio at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Tune in tomorrow night for the NBA in-season tournament semifinals as the Bucks take on the Pacers, followed by the Lakers and Pelicans. That one tips off at 9 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, and on the ESPN app. Let's talk about these matchups a little bit for me. The Pacers, I think, actually have been the most fun of these 4 teams to watch, which that's not something I've certainly ever said in my career here, because the Pacers are not necessarily normally think of as that team, but it's the offensive efficiency first in the NBA this season. Of course, it's Tyrese Halliburton, who has just been on another level. This dude is Steve Nash all of a sudden. He was 26 points, 13 assists, 10 boards, 0 turnovers against the Celtics on Monday to try to notch their ticket to Las Vegas. He is the reason that offense for Indiana is so good. It's fun to see, and I think you bring up a really good this guy. He is Tyrese Halliburton, 23-year-old budding superstar right now that the whole country is getting introduced to. Look, they play in a small market.
They're in the Eastern Conference, buried the last few years, bottom of the Eastern Conference standings. They've been building towards this. To have a player like that on the cusp of, he just signed that insane $260 million supermax. It's funny because he was asked about the prize that these players earn if they end up winning the season tournament. It's a considerable amount of money. $5 million, yeah, $500,000. Nothing to scoff at for somebody who just signed a massive deal. That he doesn't need that. Right? It's something nice for his teammates. Obviously, the guys who are on the two-way contracts, that's a big deal for them. They get a portion of those proceeds. But this is a chance early in the season when NFL is king, when we've got a Thursday night football game between the Steelers and the Patriots that will probably end up outdrawing the viewership of the in-season tournament. They still are getting eyeballs on a product that most times a lot of casual fans are saying, that's nice, call me when April hits, when the Golden State Warriors are already on a 73-9 streak, when the Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, Philadelphia 76ers, so on and so forth, have already locked up their seeding and we're getting ready for the playoff. We have something to watch, and it's not just the same old teams. Two of these teams in the field have not won an NBA championship. I know obviously the Lakers have won a whole bunch, and that's great, but this is a chance to get to see teams that usually don't get to this stage, which is why I was so upset. The Chicago Bulls, team that I would like to be a fan of in my own city for many reasons, and I'm they didn't take it seriously. This is relatively to understand the format early on, but they didn't take advantage, and they got absolutely crushed by Boston in one of the tournament games that I watched. And this was going to be the one chance I had before they inevitably trade everybody by that November 15th date when the veteran players should start to be dealt on the market. Like, this was their chance to actually do something that I would be able to take my hat out for the season and just squander their opportunity. Teams like Indiana, which very well are going to be trying to make a season run in the Eastern Conference, they did take it seriously. And to me, the Tyrese Halliburton story is one of the best stories about the NBA in-season tournament. We're getting introduced to a young player who has been waiting for this moment, a team that's been building towards this moment, and they capitalize on the opportunity a month and a half into the season.
Halliburton doesn't need the money, but he needs the eyeballs, and he deserves the eyeballs, and it's a good thing that he is starting to get them in the way that he deserves. Obviously, everybody in Indiana is very familiar with his work, but I feel like now the country is getting familiar with Tyrese Halliburton, how great he is. Now, defensively, this Pacers team leaves a lot to be desired. They are 28th in the league defensively. They've got some problems. So this Bucks team, although Giannis and Lillard still have chemistry to work out, because by the way, they are not at the best when they are on the court together by all the metrics, still, this Bucks team obviously a tall task for Indiana from a defensive perspective. The Pelicans and the Lakers will also be an interesting matchup. LeBron is still doing and about to be 39 years old. You know how unbelievable it is. And the Pelicans are actually healthy for once. I don't know how long we're going to be able to say that for, but they're actually healthy. Like they're a month away. Yeah, well, the problems there defensively. We saw his coach actually sit him at the end of that game the other night to match their ticket to Vegas. Nevertheless, Zion is an electric offensively, and seeing those teams with those superstars in Vegas is going to be so exciting tomorrow night. Coming up next, plenty more here on ESPN 14.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, Micah Parsons said he could be Tyreek Hill's quarterback. I'll tell you why he's completely disrespecting Tua. It's unsportsmanlike. 6 a.m. Eastern right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Any score crazy, especially with the defender giving a push.
Oh, not this song again.
Hello, Sarah. Real quick, would you listen to elevator music all day or deal with payroll complaints? Payroll complaints for sure. Wait, really?
Staying compliant is so much easier with Gusto. Gusto automatically calculates my taxes and files with all the right agencies for me.
Can Gusto help my small business with compliance too?
Of course they can.
Choose payroll goods. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Today, calling his number time and time again, and he is delivering.
What if you could hear the referees whistle? I'm Lloyd Williams. For Jack and Cardigan athletes like me, these what-ifs are reality. Going to 18 and 2000 now we can see play calls just like the other teams here
Connect the play, change the game. Learn more at AT&T.com/5. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
Has the kind of size and length and weight to score on the interior.
Just you and me, Tommy John each day. Remember it's the perfect day. It's on the day to save and stop discomfort when you're under start to break. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Tommy John, I know that. Over 20 million pairs sold. We are expected off our shelves. It makes a comfort and joy.
Tommy John is nothing more. And you're wearing now. Tommy's pressing more. Making everyone come to the party they enjoy. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Santa's not the only one with a sack, you know. Upgrade yours with Tommy John. Save 25% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. 25% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details. So healthy and comfortable.
The whole season is upon us. Hockey and basketball are heating up. It's the most wonderful time of the year for sports. Join us every afternoon Slapshot and Sideline Grab with Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats celebrates fandom with rewards like free tickets, surprise seat upgrades, even annual birthday deals. And you earn rewards with every purchase. From jump ball to final buzzer, Vivid Seats has it all for the experiences that matter to you. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Give the gift of Vivid Seats this holiday season. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd start with consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they breathe with their butts when they walk, which is fine. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
Take a break. Do something.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Nick Toloka. NBA Wednesday night, Spurs and Timberwolves. Minnesota looking for a fifth straight win, 9-1 at home this season, while the Spurs are trying to snap a 14-game losing streak, the second longest in franchise history, behind only 16 straight from last season. Spurs on top 40-36, 4:38 to go in the second quarter. Wembanyama with 5, Zach Collins with 10 on the night for San Antonio. Anthony Towns had 7, Conley with 6. The T-Wolves, the game on ESPN TV. In college football, the Final Four is set in Washington. In Texas in the Sugar Bowl after a perfect regular season. He's led by Heisman candidate QB Michael Penix Jr. Looking forward to a matchup a lot on the line against the Longhorns.
Yeah, they're a team, one of their team that do a lot of different things. So very well. We're definitely going to have a great game coming up on the first. And we're just super excited. We're just excited for the opportunity. We understand that's a good team that's going to get close to us. And we're going to come ready, so it's going to be a very good matchup.
Penix on SportsCenter on ESPN2. Iowa's Keegan Clark has done it, becoming the 15th player ever to reach 20,000 career points, the fastest player in the mark since Jackie Stiles in 2001 at Missouri State. Clark currently has 24 on 5 of 12 from downtown. Iowa is leading Iowa State 43-39 with 6:11 to go in the third quarter.
Jacobs got a second bucket tonight. Hey, Charlie, you some more Chris Taylor coming on Thursday. Cowboys and Eagles. I'll tell you why this is a must win. Not only for the Cowboys, but more importantly for the shots. Sports Access Eastern. Right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
The Mavericks have gone 2 of 5 in the
Courtney Cronin in the saddle for Ian Fitzsimmons tonight. We're rolling along here on Amber and Ian. Amber and Ian presented to you by Progressive Insurance. So the NBA in-season tournament, Courtney, I think, has been a massive success. And maybe I shouldn't sound so surprised. I thought it was a good team and good idea when we first heard about it from Adam Silver. But I also thought it was going to take some time for players to buy into it in particular. Because like you mentioned, Tyrese Halliburton was one of the absolutely one of the biggest stars in this thing. Now the Pacers take on the Bucks tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Eastern. That game tips off the Pelicans and the Lakers, 9 p.m. Eastern. Those are your semifinal matchups. You can hear all the coverage. It begins at 4:30 p.m. Eastern right here on ESPN Radio. But Halliburton, like you said, that $500,000 that they're going to win if they win this thing per player, like, all right, it's nice. It's really nice for some of these guys. For a guy like Tyrese, he doesn't really need $500,000, right? It must be nice to be in that situation.
Somebody who signed a $260 million max contract, but again, like if he wants to go ahead and cast that our way,
well, listen,
we're rocking the fun right now.
You know what? I appreciate you. I too. So he doesn't need the money, but I've been surprised how hard he has been playing and all of these other players have been playing. And there was the Tuesday night when these teams were vying for a spot in the quarterfinals moving forward, and it was a Tuesday night in November in the NBA, and you had teams wasn't up the score. The other teams were getting mad about it, and they were mad that the starters were playing every minute. They were mad they were seeing starters who were playing in an NBA game, that nobody was resting, and that everything's actually caring and trying their hardest. And you've got LeBron James was playing well into the fourth quarter
of this NBA in-season tournament game for a trip from the semifinals last night, dropping 15 points in the fourth quarter. He had number 31 last night. And one of the lead topics today, we're in the middle of NFL's Complete 14. I know that tomorrow's Thursday night matchup between the Steelers and the Patriots is great, but it's still football, and we are just love it. But there was a controversial timeout in the end of Lakers Suns that was one of the lead topics on our network today, and that shows you that it is true. The viewership is up. People are invested in this. And seeing Kevin Durant and LeBron James go back and forth last night on a Tuesday night in November where you had actual stakes on the line, that's showing you that this is unmitigated success. There are plenty of things that we can fix going forward in the NBA and team tournament, able to make sure all the teams are aware of what's telling you about it. The Chicago Bulls were heated, clued into how they will but you fix the courts. I'm not a big fan of courts that would give me vertigo. I was walking on them. I think they like them. It's a whole concept of theory. But outside of those things, there really isn't a whole lot of goals in viewership numbers. We just talked about it. All of it's up. The league pass subscriptions are up. The fact that we have meaningful games being played in November, it's that the casual NBA fan not waiting until the end of March to get involved. That's a big deal for a product that absolutely has its hold on our audience, but now we don't have to wait until half that audience becomes available the second week of February. The truth is there's too many NBA games. There's too many regular season games. 82 is too many. Something like 60 would be perfection. And we've seen it in lockdown season, how much more it matters, how much harder the guys play game in and game out. But this was a temporary fix to a larger problem that they're not going to be able to fix because they're not going to actually produce enough games in season because everybody likes money. And that includes the players as well. So nobody wants to get rid of money. Producing the season would get rid of money. So what's the second best option? Well, Adam Silver came up with a pretty decent one here by implementing this rural software type system with this in-season tournament. And I've been surprised the players have bought it. And you mentioned the Chicago Bulls there. Now I imagine next season is a very different story for the Bulls because I think that their season is coming around on this thing. This guy and you put a shiny trophy in front of him, the team. If you put a shiny trophy in front of him, that they're going to want to try to win because they're just ultimate competitors. There's no reason that they're playing a professional sport to begin with.
So it's been really cool to see. I mean, not everyone's gone all in. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I watched Jimmy Butler rest in the months of been hanging, right? So next year, I think we'll see the effects of that. And I think that we'll see these other teams that maybe didn't take it so seriously this season take it a lot more seriously next season, because also they realized that heck, it's fun. Why not make it?
And the matchups that we have in the semifinals do not feel one-sided, and we have a lot of intrigue, especially like this Milwaukee and Indiana matchup. They scored. The Bucks scored 126 points last night. I know people are talking about running up the score and doing that against a defense that is that good. As in the New York Knicks, a stingy defense where you got people screaming at Julius Randle at moments of last night's game, which is just fun to see. This is setting us up for a high-scoring affair on a Thursday night in the middle of November. Excuse me, it's December now. I'm so conditioned to being in the NFL right now.
Early December is not a time that people are super tuned in. Like the diehards already are to the NBA, but everybody else kind of tunes in. Like traditionally, it's Christmas. Hey, Christmas Day is when the NBA season actually starts. That's a problem for the league.
And you're being introduced to teams right now, or at least you're having those teams recognize that typically don't. I mean, I know that they're not in the semifinals, but the Minnesota Timberwolves are the best team in the Western Conference. And who would have seen that coming had we not had more of these games broadcast on national TV to get to see the great young star that Anthony Edwards is, to get to see this team that has been building towards this, that has had to finally get that national stage. And then when the tournament's over and we get to the middle of December, Christmas Day is the day that most people consider the unofficial start to the NBA season, about a month and a half in. That's when now you're going to be familiarized with teams that maybe you weren't. Some of these matchups that we have on our ESPN slate of Christmas Day games are going to have a lot more intrigue because of what has happened in this in-season tournament, where bracket rights are, where the trends are, I feel like we're 6'7", 7'2". I know you're talking about Jimmy Butler and the rest situation in that game that he had tonight, but by and large, it feels like the bias here has been among everyone.
I've been surprised by that. I really have been. I thought that it was a really good idea. I thought it was going to take a while for people who the thing I I thought that what was going to have to happen was the NBA was going to work out some sort of motivation beyond just the trophies, beyond just the medal, right? That you get for that year or whatever it is. I thought they were going to kind of work this over for a few years so you could figure out what really motivated the existence and the way it's currently structured motivates the guys playing to get it done. These guys and it's going to be a lot of money. These matchups will absolutely be tuned in. Now, if it was 2016, I think the NBA would be in a lot more trouble with the Steelers-Patriots matchup that they're going to be competing with. In 2023, the NBA's got a solid shot here, Courtney, because putting some of those eyeballs on its games instead of
tomorrow night will be the strangest Thursday night game where there are actually playoff implications on the line, considering the Steelers and the injury to Kenny Pickett, now what they're doing moving forward at quarterback, and the New England Patriots putting up a giant goose egg last week against Los Angeles Chargers. They're a bad game, and then there's the one that you were going to see tomorrow night, which of course we all have to fast forward to Sunday to get to Dallas and Philadelphia. But in order to get to Sunday, you have to go through Thursday first. And the intrigue for me with this is I'm trying to be glass half full here and the optimist about, okay, let me find a couple things to like about it. Steelers made the change offensive coordinator a couple of weeks ago with Matt Canada getting fired and Mike Sullivan taking over play calling duties. That was when Kenny Pickett was the quarterback. Well, we know obviously now with the injury for Kenny Pickett and Tony ankle surgery, we don't know when he's going to be back. They did not rule him out initially against the Patriots, which I thought was such a weird time to be alive and weird to be that after he apparently had surgery. So we're now at a spot where I'm like, what is this Steelers team? What is this AFC playoff picture? When the injuries start starting quarterbacks that it feels like the CFP got their hands on the AFC at this point. A lot of these teams wouldn't end up playing in the postseason because, oh man, there's a starter in there. It must not be good quality football. You're going to have a lot of teams trying to figure out ways around right now with the injuries to guidance. The Steelers still very squarely in the postseason right now, sitting at fifth in the AFC. So that's a lot of the short. It's an ugly season for New England. They are looking ahead to a and looking towards that NFL. I do think that this game leaves a lot to be desired. I heard on the McAfee show today they were trying to find ways to juice this thing up for tomorrow night. They said they should put a Lombardi Trophy on the line. Just meaning like they have to the franchises because they each have so many that like they just give up one, whoever loses. Because they've got a few extra there to go around. They said that the loser coach could get fired, which I mean that would be high stakes because you're talking about two of the best coaches in NFL history at the helm of both of those teams. I don't see Mike Tomlin going anywhere. The Steelers overall, it's not the season that I guess Steelers fans wanted, but the onus fell more on Matt Canada than anything else. Maybe a bit of a scapegoat in this situation. They'd be able to obviously move on from him. We'll see if the Steelers can get anything done here. I don't think anybody actually believes the Steelers, with or without Kenny Pickett, are Super Bowl contenders. On the other hand, like a lot of people believe that this is going to be Belichick's last season in New England. It doesn't really matter what happens here for the rest of the season. Their postseason hopes are very much dead at this point. No, I mean, it's just, like, I think we should have a drinking game, honestly. We should come up with something in the next hour to figure out how we're going to get through. I know you're going to be on air tomorrow night, but if you work on how you're going to get through watching the second half of this game, because it's kind of a challenge. Think about sitting through 4 quarters of Steelers and Patriots after we got that high-scoring affair between Dallas and Seattle a week ago.
I'm actually not on air tomorrow night. No Amber and Ian because of the NBA season tournament. So we're turning our attention to the NBA, giving it to coverage begins right here for those semifinals at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and we'll run up all the way to the end of that game. So no Amber and Ian tomorrow night. I will be recording with you for Thursday night football to try to make that matchup a little bit more interesting. But I will definitely be tuned into the NBA. Coming up next year on Amber and Ian, we open up the phone lines to you. What are your thoughts on the New York Jets now going back to Zach Wilson? If the kid doesn't have a back at this point, anything else you got on your mind? The NBA in-season tournament, how locked in are you going to be tomorrow night? Give us a call. Hottest takes. 888-ESPN 888-729-3776.
Thanks for making the Super Bowl check this game. Come up Thursday, the Steelers are in the playoff run, and I'll tell you why they need to drop the quarterback. They want to win a Super Bowl. It's on Sports Talk, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPN.
I'm John Taylor. Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less from their projected performance, and place your entry. You can turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Visit prizepicks.com/OT and use code OT. That's code OT at prizepicks.com/OT.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more connecting online, and more personal info potentially being exposed to identity thieves. But with a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist, you don't have to face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other losses from identity theft all alone. If your identity is stolen, we'll work to fix it. Backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Spend more time on holiday fun, not identity worries. Save up to 25% your first year. Go to lifelock.com/sports.
Ever dream of hitting the road in your own customized Mercedes-Benz Sprinter? At ESPN, we dreamed that dream, and with the help of Mercedes-Benz, we made it happen. Our own Jim Latta teamed with Mercedes-Benz designers to create a fully functional, state-of-the-art podcast studio on wheels. Microphones, cameras, and a deluxe conversation space where Jim will be interviewing some of the biggest names in college football. Then if you see the Sprinter out at the game, you'll notice a little extra, the tailgate setup. complete with grill, cooler, TV monitors, and more. To get an inside look, visit nbvans.com/Spreaker Labs, the Mercedes-Benz ESPN College Football Podcast Network. Coming soon to a game near you. Every college football season, Goodyear knows the importance of winning on the road. The road will always demand confidence. The confidence to handle whatever the journey brings and to perform under tough conditions. And just like the players and fans of college football, Goodyear is ready. Are you ready for the road? Visit Goodyear.com to find the right Goodyear tires for whatever road you're on this season. Goodyear, more driven.
When picking a commerce platform, you have two choices.
Pizza
Or I prefer W. That's the sound of sound on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform that supercharges your selling online, in person, on social media, and beyond. Why battle your favorite platforms' weak tools? Lack of brand control.
That looks like
And limited integrations.
would have helped to know this.
Stop leaving sales on the table. Join the millions of businesses around the world growing on Shopify and get the industry-leading tools from the best converting checkout to powerful order management features. Gain control with code-free site design and harness Shopify's limitless integrations for limitless growth. Shopify.
Less, more.
Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
Spin the wheel, make a deal. It's a game of chance. Let's play. Call a roulette with Hammer and Ian.
This is a conversation here on Amber and Ian. Courtney Cronin filling in for Ian Fitzsimmons tonight. Bring us all your takes, your hottest takes. Zach Wilson, he is the starter once again for the New York Jets. Is Robert Saleh a good coach? Because I honestly don't know at this point. So I'm not sure we've seen much evidence of that. But I'm guessing he's going to skate again this season because of the injury to Aaron Rodgers. What are your thoughts on the NBA in-season tournament? Whatever you got, bring it our way. 888 say ESPN. Let's spin it
to the inside.
Our good friend Terrence calls us from Georgia. Hey Terrence, thanks for the call tonight.
He takes quality shots when he's inside. And around, it's good. Look at points in the game. I mean, he takes actually touching. Hey, good thing. You get those.
Here's Richard. He was that benchmark. He made a strong finish. He finally ends that 13-0 run.
And still.
And here's Williams now.
They're
He'll
blocking.
pick it up for the
I think
Mavericks.
the defense is great. But it's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. But it's
in the second.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks Terrence. Amber, I have a theory with this. Ready? Yes. Aaron Rodgers was able to deflect all of the blame he was going to receive for Tim Boyd, who, by the way, is off the roster. He was released yesterday and decided that they had seen enough after he got benched in the 13-8 loss to the Falcons. Of course, the Alvin Lazard thing, he was benched earlier this season. He hasn't done anything, but you're getting a head coach calling you out saying you can play better. You're targeting 2 touchdowns last season, 0 catches. Aaron Rodgers has been given carte blanche to different roster decisions that haven't worked out. So we were teetering on the verge of Jets fans turning on him. Sure, some already have, but him being like the scapegoat man, and had they not, Woody Johnson not given Aaron Rodgers the keys to the kingdom, this team might be in a better position. They might have a viable quarterback. Then he ended up flipping everything back around on people by pointing out all the reports that he thought were unfair and were chicken and feed, that's his words, about Zach Wilson. So where the attention now is off Aaron Rodgers, the general manager, roster constructor, and now it's all on Aaron Rodgers, who's making his teammate look like the guy who's just trying to help Zach Wilson through a tough time. Ultimate team guy. The thing that we've heard about Aaron Rodgers his entire career Their ultimate team guy, Aaron Rodgers. He certainly has been selling that to us since he got to New York. It's the same thing that I said earlier when I was talking about how Aaron Rodgers was out there parading on the side, parading his rehab over and over and over again. Where people are asking,
And so far,
at this
they're
point,
out
3
in
months
front.
out, could he have thrown it out? I don't know. Because he was having like a normal human behind the scenes, right? He wasn't doing it on the sideline.
Yeah, you've got Kirk Cousins throwing passes to his son in the basement of their home with his leg propped up, and Aaron Rodgers is out there dropping back in like week 7 in tennis shoes.
Let's get your insight on the density team.
But pregame is national televised games. Next to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's over here like, hey, man, can I just warm up, do my job and play this actual game? Like, bro, why are you here doing this right now? What is the point? And there is no point other than to take attention away from the team, put it on Aaron Rodgers while he's rehabbing, stay on the top of everybody's mind, and frankly stay in the back of Zach Wilson's mind. Because in doing that this entire time, the entire Aaron Rodgers show this season has been, will he come back, will he come back, will he come back? And so it's all anybody's thought about, it's all anybody's thought about, and yet we are surprised when Zach Wilson is frustrated with the situation, seemingly so, according to The Athletic, he's denied the reports, but it seems like he's frustrated with things and how they've been handled with him this season. Because although, yes, he's played well, also he's had this other guy over here breathing down his neck, claiming he's going to go all medical science and come back to take his job. And then, oh, by the way, Tim Boyle, who threw like 11 interceptions his last year in college, also took his job. 888 that's how you get in touch with us? Let's get it.
Tony is calling us from Alabama. Hey, Tony, you want to weigh in on the Jets? Go ahead.
That's the last thing. They just get too close to be making those kinds of errors.
In the replay, demonstrating once again how aggressive that defense was.
And I still think twice about attempting that shot again. That was a big time rejection.
Obviously, with the head still strong so far in this one. The pass to Williams. Porzingis with the rebound. Porzingis is got about 5 today.
Well, thanks for the call, Tony. I mean, Aaron Rodgers does have a Super Bowl MVP and the whole Super Bowl. By the Lakers,
Yeah, like he won back-to-back MVPs. Second, that was supposed to become first, did not play 60%. Got hurt 4 snaps into his career. That element, but also you've got Jordan Love looking like he's taking this Packers team to the playoffs this year. Like, what do you think Aaron Rodgers is thinking about that?
he did say all the right things on McAfee about that.
He did. I will give him.
He said all the right things. I mean, in fairness, they worked together in the same locker room for years, right? So, what was it, 3 years they were together in the same
Yeah,
locker
but it's
room?
never fun watching your ex succeed. It's just
Right, it seems not great. It seems like I would imagine that secretly he maybe doesn't want them to have all of the success or the success as a team, but who knows? He, of course, denies that because he's still got a lot of friends in that organization and he still talks to daily. I don't think all hope is lost for the Jets because he's supposed to come back next season, but right now it is a mess. Coming up next, what would Tyreek need to do in order to be NFL MVP?
Thanks for the Super Bowl champ Chris Cannon. Come on Thursday. This is going to win the playoff run. But I'll tell you why they need to drive the quarterback. The Super Bowl. It's the sports
founder of Oral Health, I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggle with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication like Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Oral Health to make access to Naltrexone convenient and private to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text LESS to 323232 to get a secure link to Oral Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word LESS to 323232 to get started today. That's LESS to 323232.
Get your tea with an 99 Tommy John each day. Remember, it's the perfect gift to give this holiday. Just here to stop discomfort when your hours start to fade. Do your Tommy John for Carl, and enjoy, and enjoy. Do your Tommy John for Carl, and enjoy.
Tommy John, I know that. Over 20 million pairs sold. We are tearing off our shelves to make some comfort and joy.
Throughout the land, Tommy John is turning more. And we're wearing mountains where we're always pressing more. Making everyone come to the party and enjoy. Dear Tommy John for comfort and joy. Dear Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Santa's not the only one with a sack, you know. Upgrade yours with Tommy John. Save 25% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. 25% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details. They're so elfin comfortable.
Bowl season is upon us, so hockey and basketball are heating up. It's the most wonderful time of the year for sports. Don't miss every alley-oop, slap shot, and sideline grab with Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats celebrates fandom with rewards like free tickets, surprise seat upgrades, even annual birthday deals. And you earn rewards with every purchase. From jump ball to final puzzle, Vivid Seats has it all for the experiences that matter to you. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Give the gift of Vivid Seats this holiday season. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animals, and they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
He is no good. He is 6 for 11 in the game. Fires for 3. Augustine grabs the board. Mavericks have gone 0-5.
This is Sports Center.
I think to look at this, Hawkeye history tonight. Iowa's Kevin Clark becoming the 15th player ever to reach 3,000 career points, the fastest to reach the mark since Jackie Stiles in 2001. So State came in a win. She posted a game-high 35 in a 67-58 victory over rival Iowa State and Ames tonight. Number 4 Hawkeyes has moved to 9-1 this season. In the NFL, Zach Wilson set to start against the Texans on Sunday. Wilson spent the last couple weeks on the bench. He's back in the lineup with some rumblings about his willingness to step back into the role. Aaron Rodgers vocally defending Wilson and wanting a better culture in the Jets building. ESPN NFL reporter Kimberly Martin says it's clear Rodgers is running things in New York.
So far, Aaron Rodgers has been the leader of this organization. And what Aaron wants, Aaron is happy, and he will throw him. So as long as Aaron is like, we have finished despite the contested shot, win with this. But I think if Aaron went to Woody Johnson and was like, yo, we gotta do X, Y, Z, I bet you wouldn't do it.
Mark on Sportsmanlike in college hoops. Dylan Harper, the number 2 prospect in 2024 class, announces commitment to Rutgers today, giving Scarlet Knights 2 of the top recruits in the country. The number 2 overall recruiting class regard staying in his home state, offers to Duke, Kansas, Indiana, and Auburn, the younger brother for Rutgers star Ron Harper Jr.
It's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, Michael Parsons said he could be Tyreek Hill's quarterback. I'll tell you why he's completely disrespecting Joe. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN 2, and ESPN.
Launches it. It's the 3-point line. 7 points in the game.
This is as pure a shooter as there is. You've got to stay connected or it's a problem.
Curry against Williams. Passes it to Hooper. Pass to Miami, Florida. Inside, Watts. To Dallas, Texas. Right for the shot.
Yeah, coaches got key there. To you, no boxer. This is Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio. ESPN and on SiriusXM.
Not to Dallas, Texas tonight over Chicago, Illinois. Rookie Perlman is filling in for Ian Fitzsimmons tonight. You can find us at the Radar Pro. You can find me as well at Amber W Sports. Amber and Ian is presented to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. So the MVP on Sporty have Tyreek Hill sitting at plus 1,200 according to ESPN Bet.
Great example of the awareness Curry brings to the game. Such a good feel for understanding what the defense is doing and how to find the open spots.
What we know about the MVP award, it is a very hard award to get if you are not a quarterback in the National Football League. So Tyreek is leading the way right now in terms of the odds from non-quarterback positions. Christian McCaffrey is at plus 2,500 behind Tyreek Hill. Talk about that one for in terms of the odds this season. What would Tyreek Hill have to do in order to win this thing?
So he needs to crack 2,000 yards, but I honestly think he needs to do that on a team that goes to the Super Bowl. We know how difficult it is to win the MVP if you are a wide receiver because no one has ever done it. If anybody had a good case to do it, it was last year with Justin Jefferson just annihilating the NFL, and I think he finished outside like the top 4, maybe even outside of the top 5 for that award. It's become a quarterback award because that's how we value certain positions in the NFL. And we know that sprinkled in here or there's a running back. And that's pretty much it. What Tyreek Hill is doing, though, and I think that there's people who will look at this and say, well, that's just slander on Tua Tagovailoa, by claiming that Tyreek is all of the offense and all of his yards go through his number 1 receiver. Well, it's kind of because it does. You saw what happened. 5 catches, 2 touchdowns. 5 catches, 157 yards when they just blew the doors off of the Washington Commanders in Week 13, 45-15. If he has performances like this down the stretch of the season, he can do it against Dallas, against a playoff contender. And if this team can go on a powerful run, because obviously MVP is down. The MVP awards come down. It's regular season. But like, you have to be on a team that is well positioned for a deep playoff run. And honestly, the way Purdy has the San Francisco 49ers is in line to do that, the way that Dak has been playing, even the way that Lamar Jackson quietly is still in the mix here, very much reviewed as they didn't take his last year because it's Superman against Los Angeles. Like, that kind of hurts his case. I think it's just going to be impossible for Tyreek to win. Much that come to see and get this little because he's deserving of it. There's a reason that voters have not made the wide receiver position an MVP yet, and I don't know if it changes this year unless something goes
And you also have to love the
Tua is at 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, about 3,500 yards so far this season, 70% completion percentage. He's been very, very good this season. Obviously, Tyreek certainly helps that equation, and it's not just Tyreek. There's a lot of good weapons around Tua. I think that makes it even more impressive what Tyreek has done, because it's not as if Tyreek is the only receiver on that team. I mean, heck, he's not even the only fast receiver on that team. Jalen Waddle was like a word. And so with the weapons on that team, with the running game that team has, you are talking about the best offense in the NFL. For Tyreek to stand out numbers-wise the way he does, I think it's all the more impressive because it's not just that every target is his target, for example. He's not up there on an island by himself, and yet we're still talking about a receiver who could, for the first time in NFL history, break 2,000 yards, and even if he does, I'm here to tell you, he got a shot at the MVP, even though he should. What Tyreek Hill would have to do to win the MVP would be to switch to a quarterback. Like, that's what he would have to do. And that's how stupid it has gotten to me with the MVP award. Because I think that there are several players this season, not just Tyreek, who deserve it more than any quarterback so far. And in terms of the quarterbacks, we could have a conversation about who has stood out, but the conversation would change weekly. Because some weeks it looks like it's Dak. Brock Purdy right now is the same odds to win as Dak. They both sit at the best odds right now at plus 300 according to ESPN. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, all those guys have, even CJ Stroud in the conversation for a while. All those guys have kind of flip-flopped all season long when you look at the odds. What hasn't flip-flopped is that the Myles Garretts and the TJ Watts of the world have always been on the list, even though they're not going to have good odds because of the positions that they play. Those guys, the Micah Parsons, the Myles Garretts, the TJ Watts, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, those are the guys. One of those guys that I just named should win this thing if we're being true to what it is with the NFL MVP, and none of those guys have any sort of shot at this thing.
And most valuable player talks about literal value to the team. Is the team better than how much worse off is the team being and you have to ask yourself when it comes to Tua's not looking at plus 900 according to ESPN. Tyreek Hill's 25 to 1 odds for the MVP are the shortest all season, and it's still so far off the leaderboard that you play the game with yourself. That if he's not on this team, is this team still in line for the #1 seed in the AFC? Are they still the new edition of the greatest show on turf? They pulled off a little bit, but we know how dynamic this offense has been. And the answer to that is very simply no. There's a really good stat to show the importance of Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins, but also to the MVP candidate on his team that has the best odds, like Tua. Going into week 13, Tua headed in 95 PPR when targeting Tyreek. That was the second highest PPR of any quarterback receiver duo in the NFL. Number 1 was Justin Fields targeting DJ Moore. Enough said, all the offense goes to DJ Moore because he is their best player on offense. When you have a Dolphins team that has Jacob's bottom on the other side as well. If Tyreek Hill would have that big of a number, that highest PPR reflects targeting, that shows you the importance he holds to this offense. And that is the type of stuff that I think should play out more than just the quarterback position always being put first in the front row for these sorts of awards, because you bring up the argument. The defensive players who know that they're never going to be favorites for the MVP, but it makes compelling takes for the defensive player of the year award, especially in a year where we've got multiple guys with multiple sacks. It makes it that much more interesting down the stretch here to see who's going to run away with it.
And some of those guys I just mentioned don't have the quarterback play around them, and their teams are still in contention for a postseason, largely because of those defensive performances. The truth is that the Dolphins wouldn't be the #1 seed in the AFC right now without Tyreek Hill, and certainly they wouldn't be that without Tua, right? Like, it can be both. Both those things are true, but it ain't just Tua. It's not just the quarterback position. What I don't like, though, is that somehow Tyreek being so good, people use that to sort of degrade what Tua has done this season, and Tua has had a very, very good season as well. Mike Parsons is one of those people. He is a linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. He has a podcast, the Edge podcast. He talked about this connection to Tyreek Hill.
I am talking crazy right now, and I'm talking very crazy. I truly believe I can be Tyreek Hill's quarterback. I can throw it up to Tyreek Hill.
Now, I have seen Mike Parsons throw a pass. Maybe he could be a quarterback of the National Football League. I ain't counting Micah out. I do think Micah should be in contention for the NFL MVP. What I don't believe is that Micah Parsons could be anywhere near or even in the same universe as Tua Tagovailoa if he decides to play quarterback. I don't care who your receivers are.
This argument with these industries going back and the goalposts previously get moved for him because his underside, the arm strength isn't, what it doesn't stand out in some compared to some of the other quarterbacks. I'm just throwing out some of the slander that I've heard because I do our MVP file for ESPN.com, so you got to sort through a lot of these arguments. And then there's always the case of, oh, well, if he was in anything other than Mike McDaniel's offense, this quarterback would fail. He would not be putting up these sorts of numbers. His team would not have an offense that's explosive because it wouldn't have those two weapons on the outside to insulate Tua. I don't find that fair because the results are not, like, it's not just a results. And Tua has the numbers that have him in line with the, 7 shortest odds to win the MVP. He's deserving of that. Right. Now, do I think that his wide receiver teammates should be ahead of him in this? Yeah, I do. But that's just not the way that these defenses work. Allen Johnson, caveat, he said he was on a 4-12 Lions team. You knew from the jump that he was not going to be in contention because I believe the last player to win the MVP on a non-playoff team was O.J. Simpson in the 1970s. It doesn't happen, but everything at least now is aligned to make history change with where he's going to finish receiving yards, where Tyreek wants to keep going to finish third, in position for the number 1 seed. Yet I still think you have to be quarterbacks with overall talent he's going to end up finishing outside the top 5, and it's going to stink when you see those results. But again, you win for offensive player of the year.
Yeah, well, that's become the award. That's like real MVP. That's what that feels like, right? It's like
they have an offensive MVP and a defensive MVP.
Yeah,
I understand that's basically what they have.
That's what they have. Right, because it's like offensive player of the year has become that, defensive player of the year has become that, and NFL MVP is just a quarterback's award. Like that's how it has panned out. It would be so silly if Tyreek Hill breaks 2,000 yards this season and still doesn't win the NFL MVP, but I don't think he will. Tua, by the way, by any metrics this season, that pulling out the stats, is a top 10 quarterback easily in the league. Micah, you're very talented, but come on, man. Coming up next here on Amber and Ian with Courtney Cronin, filling in for Ian tonight. Is Josh Allen the best player in the AFC? We'll get into it. ESPN Radio is also on the ESPN app.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Manning, coming up Thursday. Cowboys and Eagles. I'll tell you why this is a must-win. Not only for the Cowboys, but more importantly for Dak. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. Mr. Richards.
Love the color. If you had to choose, would you watch paint dry or compare benefits plans? Compare benefits plans, obviously. But you know how complicated benefits are.
Well, I don't do well with that. Because it's easy to find benefits like medical, dental, and vision for my whole team.
Such benefits without the match. Is it just for that pound/training? Sign up for free.
Today, football is one What if you could get a referee system? But that's a part of athletes like me. These what if are reality. Or if the 18s now we can see play clubs just like the OGs here. Connect the player, change the game.
There's
At AT&T.com/5G comment. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
Look at what Cowboys win up to 25 times your money this football season. Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less from the projected performance, and place your entry. You can turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Visit prizepicks.com/OT and use code OT. That's code OT at prizepicks.com/OT.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more connecting online, and more personal info potentially being exposed to identity thieves. But with a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist, you don't have to face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other losses from identity theft all alone. If your identity is stolen, we'll work to fix it. Backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Spend more time on holiday fun, not identity worries. Save up to 25% your first year. Go to lifelock.com/sports.
Ever dream of hitting the road in your own customized Mercedes-Benz Sprinter? At ESPN, we dream that dream, and with the help of Mercedes-Benz, We made it happen. Our own Jen Latta teamed with Mercedes-Benz designers to create a fully functional, state-of-the-art podcast studio on wheels. Microphones, cameras, and a deluxe conversation space where Jen will be interviewing some of the biggest names in college football. And if you see the Sprinter out at the game, you'll notice a little extra, the tailgate setup, complete with grill, cooler, TV monitors, and more. To get an inside look, visit mbvans.com/SprinterLabs. The Mercedes-Benz ESPN College Football Podcast Sprinter, coming soon to a game near you.
Now preaching strong defense there, GA. I mean, basic fundamentals. He doesn't want to see anyone on his team get burned on that end. And I know I speak for all of us when I say I can't wait to see what kind of finish awaits us here in the fourth quarter. Again, losing his team. Curry is out there with Foster. And it's Watts in the fourth.
So we were just talking about the NFL MVP race and how it's basically become a quarterback award. And when I was pulling the stats, because you and I were in a conversation about who is number one, which Brennan filling in tonight for Ian Benjamin's here on the Ian was actually right impressive. When I was pulling the stats for this season so far for all of the quarterbacks, in the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, Josh Allen, where his own metrics is at the top of these lists. He is still argued by the numbers, the number one quarterback in the league. And yet, most people certainly would not have him there. And with the Josh Allen experience, always comes double-digit interceptions. We know that's a Josh Allen problem. The added caveat this season, from a problematic perspective, is that the Bills generally aren't nearly as good as we expected them to be. Mike Greenberg, the host of the show called Get Up here on ESPN, and also the host of a radio show called on his television show on Get Up. He said something very important.
Last week, I'm off with COVID. Right on my ears. And I'm getting necessary to sit and chip and Josh Allen on this up. Or he was sent to anything in the Philadelphia game. Let me say something about this. There were 106 points in this one for that game. Of them, by far, the one who played the best was Josh Allen. We focus more on the ones that played Josh Allen makes every week than the 60 that almost no one else in history possibly could. His team would be so bad if they didn't ask him to do absolutely everything. He is the most unfit show players in the NFL. And a quick final from under the team. It's like the Chiefs this weekend. If he wound up on Kansas City with every leader of those guys, I would be talking about him as being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Josh Allen in that game against the Eagles, he was 29 of 51, 339 yards passing, a couple touchdowns passing, a couple touchdowns running, interception.
I get where Greeny's coming from because had it not been that miscommunication, final, they're only got 2 points between himself and Gabe Davis. Like they were confused as to what the defense being was. Like then that game would probably have a different outcome. But Greeny's point is that 37-34 overtime loss the Bills had to the Eagles in Week 12 shouldn't fall squarely on Josh Allen's shoulders. He shouldn't be getting double for this because he did play out of his mind until that final. Newsflash: you are a quarterback, just like we were talking about. If you don't want to be in consideration for any of these awards, if you don't want all of the glory and everything else, then you don't play the quarterback position because you don't bring it rides well. He's able to take access to shots, and in that loss to Philly, 29 to 51, some wild throws. Josh Allen, which you have come to expect, but 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He played well enough, if not even great enough for that team to win, and they did it. And I bring this up because the audacity that we're supposed to just leave Josh Allen alone and not say anything about his play. Like, he has so many turnover worthy plays, and the idea on Get Up where Kimberly Martin said that she thought that Steelers and Patriots is going to be a high scoring affair tomorrow night. So yes, bold, capital B and capital L, all the letters. The bold prediction here was about Josh Allen throwing multiple interceptions at against the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, look at where he is right now. mean, he has 96 interceptions since he came into the league in 2018. Nobody else comes close to that figure. And you can understand why people want to poke holes in what feels like an MVP-worthy season that the Buffalo Bills feel like they're wasting because they're getting great performances. By and large, Josh Allen is always an interception that ends up ruining things or some other moment. Scapegoated on Ken Dorsey a couple of weeks ago, he was fired. At some point, Amber, Bills, Josh Allen, everyone's going to have to look around and say, well, there's nobody else to blame. Maybe it's the quarterback who can be good, but not great on a consistent basis to get this team past the other powerhouses in the AFC. Right now, they're not even a playoff in the AFC playoff. Who saw that? Nobody saw that coming, and that's fair to mention when you bring up Josh Allen. The reason that I tend to agree with him in his take is because for some reason the conversation about that game ends up revolving around Josh Allen, as it always does, and that's fine. You're right. That's important. That's how it goes, especially when you're supposed to be one of the best teams in the NFL. But with Josh Allen, there does seem to be this idea that he's the problem, and while ignoring the solution before that problem even exists. Yes, he has accuracy issues. Obviously, he takes chances. He throws double-digit interceptions basically every single season. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it feels like I'm talking about it every single season. This season, that's a Josh Allen problem. Yes. Also, they would not have been in that game. They would not have been in overtime. None of that stuff would have happened. They would not have been competing against the Eagles if not for the unbelievable, ridiculous play of Josh Allen. In that game, on that field, Josh Allen was easily the best player until that very final play. Fine. But Josh Allen was the best player in that game, period. Point blank. He was the best player. I see James Steele right now shaking his head at me in the Zoom because James Steele, famous Josh Allen hater, I think largely because somebody had the audacity once to try to take a little credit away from Patrick Mahomes and put a little shine on Josh Allen, and that's why James gets so upset. But James, you always lean on Josh Allen. You have to admit, in that game, he was the best player on not even just the best quarterback, because that's easy. You can pull the numbers there for Jalen Hurts. Easily the best quarterback. Jalen Hurts pulled him in the end zone. Jalen Hurts also won the best game. He got them into overtime. He comes back from a 10-point deficit at halftime. Did it in back-to-back weeks with the Chiefs on the road and doing it there. Isn't football about finishing the deal? Which team is standing, left standing at the end? Jalen Hurts was the quarterback of that team that ended up doing it. Now, obviously, there's holes that you can poke in the Philadelphia Eagles. Something doesn't feel right about them right now. But at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts was the quarterback of the winning team, and how he got his team in position. He didn't throw a game-stealing interception the way that Josh Allen did. So I think it's not fair to say that Josh Allen, just because he had some gaudy 332-yard passing, I don't think that's fair.
He did. Wins and losses are next to quarterback.
They're not a quarterback staff. At the end, you take a look at which quarterback come back from a 10-point deficit against a team that has been focused in the first half. You do that in back-to-back weeks, especially in conditions that were there on Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia. That to me speaks more about what Jalen Hurts did to his and to rise above to that level of play, do it with his legs and with his arm. That to me is the mark of the best quarterback. James, you have to say, James,
You know, you have to like that he's still getting everyone and delivering now.
and you can't. That's a lot of turnovers. He has 16. Second in the league right now is 16 turnovers. 14.
The Bills scored a touchdown to go right 14 in the second quarter. 7 plays later, the Eagles scored a touchdown to 24-24. Guess what happened 2 plays later? Josh Allen throws an interception. 3 plays later, the Eagles are up 28-24. Why doesn't anyone say that?
Why doesn't anybody talk about Jalen Hurts fumbling in the end zone? I mean, you always do this. He had one interception in that game. He had one interception in that game, right? That we're talking about with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's really with 2 lines. Nobody's arguing that. But also, the Bills won't be anywhere in any of these games if not for the greatness of Josh Allen. If you put Josh Allen on that ladies and gentlemen, did Jalen Hurts on that Dyson, and he hasn't then come back at the end? I mean, we're shooting killers here. I know it's Josh Allen is easily in that matchup for ESPN.
It's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, Michael Parsons said he could be Tyreek Hill's quarterback. I'll tell you why he's completely disrespecting Tua. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
How about the timing? Could be the difference between an assist and a turnover. Nice delivery.
Ninjas, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Your Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication can help. Trexader is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Your Health to make access to naltrexone convenient and private to help people like me gain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text LESS to 3232 to get a secure link to Your Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment and if medications are prohibited, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word LESS to 323232 to get started today. That's LESS to 323232.
Every college football season, Goodyear knows the importance of winning on the road. The road will always demand confidence. The confidence to handle whatever the journey brings and to perform under tough conditions. And just like the players and fans of college football, Goodyear is ready. Are you ready for the road? Visit Goodyear.com or find the right Goodyear tires for whatever road you're on this season. Goodyear, more driven.
Bowl season is upon us. Hockey and basketball are heating up. It's the most wonderful time of the year for sports. Don't miss every alley-oop, slap shot, and sideline grab with Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats celebrates fandom with rewards like free tickets, surprise seat upgrades, even annual birthday deals. And you earn rewards with every purchase. From jump ball to final buzzer, Vivid Seats has it all for the experiences that matter to you. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Give the gift of Vivid Seats this holiday season. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
Can't you see what they're doing in Tommy John's day? Tommy John for comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Tommy John, I know that. Over 20 million pairs sold. We are expanding off our shelves to make some comfort and joy.
All throughout the land, Tommy John's nothing more. Underwear and loungewear, upon expressing more, making everyone come to the party they enjoy. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Give Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Santa's not the only one with a sack, you know. Upgrade yours with Tommy John. Save 25% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. 25% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details. They're so elfin comfortable.
All free throws, here's the longest team.
And after something goes free throws in the first half, now he's putting the defense back on field.
This is Sports
I'm Nate Derosa. History in college hoops. Caitlin Clark reaches 3,000 career points in a Hawkeye win over rival Iowa State. Clark becomes the 15th player ever to reach the mark the fastest since 2001. Here's how it sounded on ESPN2.
Here's Marshall with Clark trailing.
History in flight. Caitlin Clark. 3,000 career points. Another forever moment for this transformational superstar. Little goes to Colorado, pressing a game line 45 and a 67-58 win. Number 4 Hawkeyes since 91 this season in the NBA's first ball. It's been a 17th straight win. They won at home this season while the Spurs trying to snap a 14-game losing streak. San Antonio won by 47-56 to go until after halftime, Anthony Townsend 7, Mike Conley 8, and so does Collins leading the way with 10 for the Spurs trying to snap their second longest losing streak in franchise history. The game on ESPN TV. The NFL, after a Sunday scuffle, San Francisco 49ers linebacker Trey Greenwald and the Philadelphia Eagles head of security Tom DeSanto exchanged a formal apology between organizations. The league office reports take a view of the situation. Now his coach Kyle Shanahan said they have not heard from the NFL and were expecting no further discipline beyond the 15-yard penalty Greenwald received.
Hey, it's good. We are bearing down on what might be the biggest weekend of the NFL season, including Chiefs and Bills and Cowboys and declarations of attention to Week 14 in a big way. Thursday night. It's going to be better than 10 a.m. Eastern. Now ESPN and ESPN.
It's making headlines. It's a big deal. It's a big deal with radio.
And Courtney Clemens, thanks for filling in for Ian Fitzsimmons. We appreciate you doing so. Big deal, not a big deal. Ian Courtney, and James Steele. He always helps us out as well.
Yeah, that's me. How's everyone doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
All right, so apparently
There's 42 seconds left to play in the final quarter.
Skilling with a $22 million
Over the quarter Porzingis.
from 2019-2023 by exploding for organizations. Virtual credit for the box. He's not playing tonight. He's 2 vehicles.
Here's Tatum.
And it's I don't want to pay $25,000.
Nice D from Porzingis.
Wait, hold on.
Some of that money is also going to go to place bets with online gambling.
Man, that was his word.
Was it 2.2 million or 22 million?
Take a break. Take a break. Courtney, is this a big deal or not a big deal?
It's a big deal because I don't understand how this person who was named in this report, according to the Athletic, how they were able to steal $22 million worth of assets from the Jacksonville Jaguars and get away with it for as long as he did. Like the things that he bought, $95,000 designer watch, allegedly, reportedly, allegedly. 2 vehicles, an alleged condominium. I don't know where you're buying a condominium that's worth millions of dollars in Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, you would know better than me.
Anywhere on a beach route, really, Jack's Beach, like on any of it. How did this go under the radar all these years? Like, it's a massive deal that they just found out about it, and the Athletic just reported this. There will obviously be more reaction. Certainly the team will be asked about this, but according to this report, the team said that in a statement in 2023, February 2023, they terminated the employment of this individual in 2000. Finally, and then they've been like in an investigation and in the Fed and the U.S. Attorney's Office to go through all of this. Are these $22 million? That might be a drop in the bucket, but that's a pretty hefty chunk of change to just steal and go under the radar for 5 years. That's not a drop in the bucket to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, I understand these owners are all very rich people who own these teams, but these teams do operate as businesses. And $22 billion seems like a huge chunk of their bottom line. I mean, this is an unbelievable story. He was apparently his role was manager of financial planning and analysis.
So no wonder he could make it go away. He was the one we go in the book.
And he financially planned allegedly the hell out of this thing. Is where he financially planned over $22 million, by the way. When he showed up to the facility with a watch worth $100,000 on his wrist, he wasn't a player. Nobody kind of looked at him sideways. Like, hey, I'm sure you make, like, I'm sure the salary's good for his position, you know, like a few $100,000 or something. But like, hey, that watch on your wrist is your entire salary, boss. Like, what's happening?
I know that playoff bonuses are a big deal. That's why teams, And I'm trying to think. I mean,
What bonus? The Giants weren't winning a Super Bowl. Their employees
Well,
weren't
they
winning a
went to
Super
the
Bowl.
AFC Championship in 17. We also don't know. I mean, this apparently happened. The scheme happened from 19 to 23. I don't know how long this person was employed for, but yes, to your point. Nonetheless, like this guy's wearing a Patek Philippe watch, and like nobody that's just going like unscathed over everybody's heads at that point.
I gotta be honest too. If I had $23 million, which is almost what this is, I would probably do more damage than just like a condo and a couple parks and a watch. $23 million?
Well, cryptocurrency.
Choices.
He thought he was on the cutting edge of the investment world, and that one blew up in his face.
He was on the cutting edge of something, allegedly.
Now he's going to jail, probably.
Yeah,
That's the show's keyword there.
Allegedly.
He's trying to
that's a lawyer.
He's trying to keep it low key with the condominium. And 95,000.
Yeah, except for the hundo watch on your wrist, boss. Like that is the tell.
He's like, this is a knockoff. What are you talking about? When the feds are like coming to his house.
Is nobody worried about what he was betting on? I mean, this portion too. 22 bill. I will allow 22 on FanDuel. Like what? Like is he?
Can't do that. He had ESPN bet all the way.
He works.
Is he
Hold on. No, he had. Hold on. Maybe. Yes, he might have had. Well, he might. You're not. At the time, you wouldn't have been allowed to bet. Also, not legal in the state of Florida, by the way. Still isn't. So maybe he had lines that he drew.
Maybe it's offshore accounts. Who knows?
Maybe he's a Bovada guy or something. Who knows? You got to do offshore down there. Y'all make some noise. I wonder if he won or lost. That's what I need to know. What was he taking?
Well, there's so many jokes to be made here too. Like, who was it? Like Bortles or Meyer? CM Punk? All right.
That's great.
All right. Up next, Taylor Swift was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. But really, who cares about that? What we really care about is her actually talking about her relationship with Travis Kelce, really for the first time. Quote, this all started when Travis very adorably put me on blast on his podcast, which I thought was metal as hell, she says. We started hanging out right after that, so we actually had a significant amount of time that no one knew, which I'm grateful for because we got to know each other. By the time I went to that first game, we were a couple. I think some people think that they saw our first date in that game. We would never be psychotic enough to hard launch a first date. Amber, big deal, not a big deal. That they were dating for months before that Chicago Bears game.
It's like the most Gen Z story ever. Yeah, this is a big deal, clearly, because now we have an actual timeline for this budding romance. Courtney, it has been acknowledged by the Queen herself. And so now we know that they were already a couple, even though there was breakdowns of the body chemistry and people were taking secret videos of them walking through the corridors of the stadium. Everybody was analyzing this thing far too far. Apparently, they've been hanging out for months by the time we actually saw it with our own eyes.
And I think that's the part of it that makes this relationship, at least positions it to last, because I was at that first game that she showed up at, Chiefs Bears. You guys probably don't remember it because it was a national game and it was turned off in most markets by halftime because it was an absolute blowout. But I was there. And I remember the video that emerged of her and Travis Kelce walking through the bowels of Arrowhead Stadium on their way out. There was like body language experts analyzing their every move. It is nice to hear that this didn't, the real story behind this, that it isn't some sort of corporate love story and some setup that feels like it's going to fizzle out. I will also say, like, all of the things she's been dominating, Time Person of the Year, the Wall Street Journal is featuring Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on separate occasions. This is a big deal in terms of what this means for pop culture as old, and we're going to remember this era as they know eras are kind of her thing. She's trademarked it from the tour. But this is, like, you think about some of, like, the love stories, the ones that have stood the test of time, whether it's, John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe and other, like, iconic figures that, like, 50 years down the line, we're talking about what's that?
I would have some problems with.
Of course, but like think about other ones that my
Didn't know where they weren't married. So.
think about other like big figures in pop culture, in politics, sports, and music, and all forms of life. This one is going to be its own section in the encyclopedia if those things still exist 100 years down the line.
It's like Bennifer or any of those like famous celebrity couples, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, and they got together, whatever. It just takes the world. Or if you haven't seen the David Beckham documentary, by the way, it's out on Netflix. That thing is amazing. And with him and Posh Spice, it's documenting their relationship and how young they were and the amount of scrutiny the entire world was in on that relationship. And they were bigger than big. I mean, Travis Kelce, it isn't nearly in the same stratosphere as either of those two people were in their career. I have been amazed how much though this has helped her in terms of the limelight. Because I didn't like Taylor Swift isn't even bigger than Taylor Swift, can you? And yet somehow I feel like this relationship with Travis has actually made people even more all in on her in some way. Like football fans, I guess, discovered maybe music and her star power that they would otherwise. I did expect that it would lift the star power of Travis Kelce. Clearly, it has turned into a superstar. It's good for podcast numbers.
Oh, I can't even imagine. And I mean, for someone who's not into the Taylor Swift realm of this society, I feel like I know more about this situation now and just like
starting lineup just announced.
We're just everywhere in my everyday NFL life than I would have at this point.
We had Jared Payne.
What better for a Tuesday evening than a little NBA action on 2K4? Hi everyone, I'm Brian Anderson, alongside Mark Kellogg and Grant Hill. On the sideline, Allie LaForce. Allie, it's all yours.
Guys, we've seen star players forcing their way to big teams, and Commissioner Adam Silver said,
And then all of a sudden, she's dating a guy who is really good.
Yep, sounds like you're under contract, that's not the right, see what happens. Right up your alley.
What is anything Orlando?
Yeah, I don't think.
The middle
I told her
class presents some unique challenges. How do you maintain
She thought it was like
that's rad.
gangster and that,
because it is such a
dope
long
as hell.
season. Ultimately, you have to keep your eyes on the prize.
So, one more real quick. It turns out the Lakers won't be back in black. This is the final score. The Lakers clinching to Las Vegas and spot in the semis. The NBA's inaugural mid-season tournament. The 106 Reds will go with the Suns on Tuesday while wearing their black alternative city edition uniforms. The jersey set aesthetic has been a hit with the players, and LA is undefeated in the black uniform so far, all during the in-season play tournament. The Lakers went 3-0
Williamson right side.
in 2 group play games against Memphis and Utah. Plus the
So between free throws, he was fouled in the act shooting.
against the Pelicans and St. Paul is on the NBA as a plan. So Lakers will wear their gold icon jerseys according to the uniform schedule on the website, which is the colorway plan for every game for the Lakers through the end of the regular season. The Pelicans will be in their all white. I guess it has something to do with contrasting color.
The court?
According to a lot of you deal that the Lakers were 3-0. The Black City Connect uniforms will not be able to wear them the rest of the tournament.
I don't buy into the superstition on uniforms. I get it. Black jerseys apparently are lines of good luck, I guess. But to me, you've got a championship on I know people are like, slow your roll here. It's the tournament, but these guys are very clearly taking it seriously. I don't think what color uniform they're going to be in is going to detract from that.
Yeah, I think it's more about the people wearing the uniform, the jerseys, than it is the actual jerseys themselves. Also, I kind of think these jerseys
So it's the home team
the
now.
black's cool, but I don't really get Rice's last name. I don't know. I just don't.
I'll be honest, I have not liked a lot of these. The Bulls had ones
Covered
that
by
are like
Williamson.
you guys doing. The Celtics
And here's
one that
Curry.
they wore a couple weeks ago, I was not a fan of.
Down to
Courts are
five.
the worst. Those
And the
these
call is
jerseys,
going to be
you can find a way not to.
I mean, I like obviously the Heat, so I like all the city Rice jerseys and everything that the Heat have with those. But generally speaking, with the way that this tournament has worked, I do like the idea. I like the concept. Like, I like the difference when you turn on the regular season game and what it means. I do like that. Get on to something there. You might need to tweak a few things aesthetically. It's not great that rec courts on TV look orange and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I feel like they can work that out over the next year. Good idea, good concept, especially if we're going to try to sell it as a separate team.
Outside Curry. Here's the club.
Making it look good. Coming up next here on Amber and Ian, is it okay for rivals to make trades with each other? Courtney Cronin's filling in for Ian tonight.
Thanks, resident Super Bowl champ Chris Cannon coming up Thursday. Cowboys and Eagles. I'll tell you why this is a must-win. Not only for the Cowboys, but more importantly for the Cowboys. It's on Sports at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPN.
You know, one of the things about winning the physical battle like they did.
Looking for a fun way to win for 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on PrizePicks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You can turn $10 into $250. Right now, PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/OT and use code OT. That's code OT at prizepicks.com/OT.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more connecting online, and more personal info potentially being exposed to identity thieves. But with a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist, you don't have to face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other losses from identity theft all alone. If your identity is stolen, we'll work to fix it. Backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Spend more time on holiday fun, not identity risks. Save up to 25% your first year. Go to lifelock.com/sports.
Ever dream of hitting the road in your own customized Mercedes-Benz Sprinter? At ESPN, we dreamed that dream, and with the help of Mercedes-Benz, we made it happen. Our own Jim Latta teamed with Mercedes-Benz designers to create a fully functional, state-of-the-art podcast studio on wheels. Microphones, cameras, and a deluxe conversation space where Jim will be interviewing some of the biggest names in college football. And if you see the Sprinter out at the game, you'll notice a little extra. The tailgate setup, complete with grill, cooler, TV monitors, and more. To get an inside look, visit mbvans.com/sprinterlabs. The Mercedes-Benz ESPN College Football Podcast Sprinter. Coming soon to a game near you. Every college football season, Goodyear knows the importance of winning on the road. The road will always demand confidence. The confidence to handle whatever the journey brings and to perform under tough conditions. And just like the players and fans of college football, Goodyear is ready. Are you ready for the road? Visit Goodyear.com to find the right Goodyear tires for whatever road you're on this season. Goodyear, more driven.
Before Shopify, did you find yourself wondering, where are my sales at? But now you're selling with Shopify, the global commerce platform supercharging your selling. You have no problem selling online, in person, on social media, and beyond. Very easy on the cha-ching. I can't even get my lines out. Amazing, Gary. Now you're loving how powerful Shopify's tools are. And that you can sell on all the marketplaces and socials from your Shopify store. Gary, stop leaving sales on the table. Start selling with Shopify and discover how millions of businesses around the world use Shopify to ignite their selling. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
Here's McClung. Clock at 6. He's off on the layup.
You know, that's a quick 0 for 4 now. At what point do you call a timeout and reset?
And he's going to the line for 2. The official saw contact while physically, there's just no way to match up with Zion. He's going to the right hand.
Do you remember a time when your rival traded a player to you or vice versa? Because it just happens in Major League Baseball, and some people are surprised by 2 historic rivals dealing with one another. Courtney Cronin filling in tonight for Ian Fitzsimmons. You can find her at Courtney R. Cronin. You can find me as well at Amber W. Sports. Amber and Ian presented by Progressive. The Yankees search for a left-handed bat drew them into enemy territory. They acquired Alex Rodriguez from the Red Sox on Tuesday yesterday in a rare swap between these historic rivals. Here's why this matters, because it's the Yanks and it's the Bo Sox exchanging players, and there's just something that feels weird about that.
It's just like you need these two franchises to hate each other for eternity and to never cross mingle unless there are games happening in the AL East at either side. Like, this one feels weird. When I heard about this, I was like, wait a second. Did they not did they mess this up with the Mets and the Red Sox? Like, was there some sort of misunderstanding here? Like, nope. Yankees and Red Sox trade centered around Alex. I'd like to know where you're going this week. Please stop keeping things so quiet. But it's weird because Purdue's 27 years old, and the Red Sox sent him to the Yankees to get some pitching. Which we know, like, they don't have pitching right now. So I'm like, this is interesting. This whole thing. But this just doesn't happen all that often, and it got me thinking about like all the times that, in all the times meaning in jest, how rare it is to see rivals exchange, rivals that face each other regularly, multiple times during the regular season, as the Yankees and Bo Sox have been wont to do. Like, they're going to see each other again, and it's always fun to judge. Okay, all those months later. Kind of like we saw in the NFC North last year. Remember the Minnesota Twins made a trade with the Detroit Lions, who, yes, I know, started out the season poorly in 2022. But they sent TJ Hawkinson to Minnesota and made a playoff in big part because of that offensive boost that they got. There's some of those moments where you're like, man, was it really worth doing a deal with the quote-unquote devil to send a player to his franchise that you hate the most?
I can't really think of this happening very often, obviously, because it doesn't. I guess the most recent one that I was thinking of in like the world of basketball would be the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers dealing with one another. Now, are they rivals? I mean, Yankees, Red Sox, right? Because they're in the same conference, and traditionally, in basketball, you always think, oh, well, they're not going to trade that superstar within the same conference. And that was what was surprising there, because by the way, they were, in fact, so it was surprising that they would maybe be willing to keep James Harden in the pump. It worked out just fine for everybody involved in terms of that, because James Harden wasn't winning a championship. Anyways, anywhere he was, and probably still not, even though he's been traded now to another conference. But you don't normally see that. You don't normally see teams willing to make other teams better that they have to face, even if they're not huge rivals, so to speak. And this is a weird one. I mean, there's not, like, when you pull history across sports, there's not many of them. Donovan McNabb went from Philadelphia to Washington. You know, I mean, that's staying in the, same conference there.
Well, remember the whole Brett Favre thing with like the Packers and the Vikings. He ends up finishing his NFC North time in the NFC North by playing for the Minnesota Vikings, but they weren't going to trade him to a division rival. Like, there's ways around it where your superstar that you grew up or that you ended up watching for so many years ends up playing for a rival in your conference for another team, but it usually doesn't come by way of a facilitated trade. That meant the front offices of these two respective baseball teams had to agree to do this. And you can understand when you saw the downfall of the Yankees this year at the stretch of the season. Why didn't the pitching out feels like they're short-sighted.
I was shocked by their disorganization, and I think they were.
This one down the line, time will tell. To do it though with a rival in the NFC multiple times a year, that's a risky proposition.
One of my favorite things that ever happened when I trained to try to get through this.
That one's the big one. It's from 2020.
It was 2017.
They're really getting aggressive now.
It was the year
Now's the time to do it.
Keep
attacking that bridge to the middle. Great teamwork, great time.
The Flyers who would play.
And the crowd got their
Drive over
jaws
traded
dropped off that
defenseman
one.
to the Lightning, and the Lightning immediately flipped him around and traded him to the Penguins. And basically, what happened at the end of the season, the Flyers.
Well, the league has put emphasis
One of my favorite things that ever happened in a deadline that led to that.
But there was a lightning involved.
Got to be stationary on those screens. No extra hips.
Right. They did. To get who they wanted, but they had to lose the third team. Because normally, yeah, the front offices would never otherwise do it unless they had another partner in place. So
I want the whole team teams to hate the teams tonight.
Yeah, hatred for each
That's what I want. I want them to embrace the hate.
So Verdugo now heads to the Bronx in exchange for 3 right-handed pitchers. I think Verdugo's on the last year of arbitration. After this season. Coming up next year on ESPN Radio, game night with Q Myers and Emmett Golden. ESPN Radio is also available on the ESPN app.
Thanks for listening to Super Bowl Check this game. Come on Thursday. The Steelers are in the playoff run. But I'll tell you why they need to draft a quarterback if they want to win the Super Bowl. It's in Sportsman, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPN.
Oh, no good. Had a chance to take the lead. For Orlando, they've got 50% of their shots to fall so far. They're 5 and 10.
Hey guys, did you know that the generic version of Zephyr works just the same, but it's 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name. That's right, generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Tommy John, I know that. Over 20 million pairs sold. We are clearing off our shelves and it's a comfort and joy.
Bring up the pack, Tommy John's happy boy. Underwear and loungewear upon expressive boy. Making everyone come to the party they enjoy. Tommy John's for comfort and joy. Tommy John for comfort and joy.
Santa's not the only one with a sack. Upgrade yours with Tommy John. Save 25% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. 25% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details. So helping comfortable.
The whole season is upon us. Hockey is basketball and heating up. It's the most wonderful time of the year for sports. Don't miss every alley-oop, slapshot, and sideline grab with Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats celebrates fandom with rewards like free tickets, surprise seat upgrades, even annual birthday deals. And you earn rewards with every purchase. From jump ball to final buzzer, Vivid Seats has it all for the experiences that matter to you. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Give the gift of Vivid Seats this holiday season. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Thursday, we continue to be on Ohtani Watch and get you ready for the NBA in-season semifinals. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Nick DeLuca, the reigning NBA MVP, playing like one tonight.
The beat at the top of the key, by the shoot. He fakes, he dribbles, he hangs, he fires, he's in the air, it's good. Embiid with 50 points, and the 76ers lead the Wizards 127 to 121, and a timeout taken by the Wiz. Embiid with a step-back 18-footer, all net.
Call on 97.5 with Fanatics. Sixers survived the Wizards 131 and 126 tonight. Embiid dropping 50-plus for the 6th time in his career. Single-game best was 59 in the win over the Jazz last November. Embiid also finished with 13 rebounds and 7 assists on his Maxey at 26. For Philadelphia, Jordan Poole with the Wizards side 23. Washington has lost 12 of their last 13 games. Their only win in that stretch over the Pistons, who lost some 18 straight tonight against the Grizzlies. In college hoops, Rutgers lands Dylan Harper, the number 2 prospect in the class of 2024, joining the Scarlet Knights, pairing with number 3 recruit Ace Bailey to give Rutgers the number 2 overall class in the country for next season. Harper staying in his home state over offers from Duke, Kansas, Indiana, and Auburn. Younger brother of former Rutgers star Ron Harper Jr. now with the Toronto Raptors. Before Rutgers landed Harper and Bailey, they have brought in just 6 total top 100 prospects since 2007 in baseball. The Orioles signing closer Craig Kimbrell on a 1-year deal.
Now here's Curry. We saw him with 19.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, Micah Parsons said he could be Tyreek Hill's quarterback. I'll tell you why he's completely disrespecting Tua. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Coming into this, having not so well against Boston in their last game. And it's just so hard to stop them when they're scoring at that level. They were efficient and didn't let up at all. Well, it's really hard to stop them when you're in the groove offensively. They were in a comfort zone all game long. And that's only 39% of the early going.
From Studio Q in Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Game Night with Q Myers on ESPN Radio.
That's this little situation in New York with the Jets, right? Where Rodgers got hurt, and then they had Zach Wilson playing. And every time they lost the game, they were like, man, Zach's terrible. Zach is horrible. Man, Zach sucks. We need to get rid of Zach. So then they bench Zach. Tim Boyle doesn't do much. They do nothing. Now, all of a sudden, the Jets are like, hey, Zach, you up? You know, they making their booty call. They say, hey, what you doing, Zach? There's a small part of me that wants him to go, nah, I'm good.
This is Game Night with Q Myers on ESPN Radio.
Not to mention the biggest Zach Wilson supporter I know. He goes by the name of Emmett Golden. He joins me here on Game Night on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, presented by Progressive Insurance. Emmett, how are you feeling on this Wednesday now that your guy, Zach Wilson's back in the mix?
Oh, I'm feeling good. And I have no problem, wearing the mantle of Zach Wilson's biggest fan. There's certain principles that I operate by in life. And I thought he got a raw deal, so I got you back, Zach.
Yeah, he does in a major way. We'll get into some Zach Wilson conversation in about 15 minutes from now. But right now, I got to know what caught Emmett Golden's attention. And you got to find out what caught mine like this.
Zion Williamson has been on display in Orlando.
All right, Emmett. I already know what you're excited and fired up about. That's what Zach Wilson being back in the mix. But what caught your attention, my man?
You know what caught my attention was the college football transfer portal. 2 days ago, I believe it opened. It was over 1,000 guys in the portal. So that number just keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. And listen, I'm not a hater. I think there are some good reasons to get inside the portal. Yo, it threw me off, but anyway. I'm not a hater. I think there are reasons to get into the portal, right? Like if you go to a school and that coach gets fired or takes another job, yeah, jump in the portal. If you're under-recruited and you have an opportunity to go up to step up in competition, yeah, man, jump in the portal. But there are a whole lot of young men that are going in the portal because the guy ahead of them is coming back. Because, I don't want to have to wait another year to play. Stop running from count, man. Don't show you deserve the position to compete. And if you do that, everything will work out. I think there's good and bad in this. And unfortunately, there will be a lot of young fans left with no team because they jumped this portal way too quick.
Got a little bit too much bad advice where it's like, hey, jump in the portal, everything will be all right. Well, it's not necessarily going to be all right. For some, sure. All, no, not so much. So that's what caught Emmett Golden's attention. What caught my attention on this far Wednesday was the fact that a former Jaguars employee is accused of stealing more than $22 million from the team. Good Lord, that's a lot of money, right? That's
I had to
not
do that right. My
high, 22 million. Wow. Well, but you asked me, apparently this is according to the NFL. Jaguars are accused of stealing more than $22 million from the franchise from 2019 to 2023 by exploiting the organization's virtual credit card program, and they used that to spend money on, among other items, the condominium, a designer watch worth over $95,000. Does that tell tomorrow's time too? That might tell the future. Is that a Miss Cleo? Man, I'm trying to tell you, like if I look at my watch on Friday, do I know what time it is on Monday? That watch cost over $95,000.
That's wild. That's crazy. It's funny because you hear about, financial folks stealing and hiding money from like celebrities. I don't know if I've heard of someone doing it to a team to the tune of $22 billion.
Right, exactly. And so I don't know how this is going to shake out, but I have a good idea. If the team is onto this guy, and he'll remain nameless, a bit too that he's going to, they're going to find a way to find, find him guilty of stealing more than $22 million from the team. It's Game Night on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. You want to be a part of the show, you can get us up on Dr. Trevor call-in line at 888-ESPN. That's 3776 ESPN Nation. By Dr. Pepper. It's not called football season without the list taste of an ice and Dr. Pepper. One fans conserved.
Starting on the trigger, obviously, it's just a right high ankle sprain. Everything's stable, everything looks good. We'll see what he gets here in a couple of days. This is a quick recovery, but it's entirely possible for him to miss 5 years. So what it is, they've got the Browns and they've got the Ravens coming up. So good timing if, in fact, he can make it. I think that if Trevor Lawrence comes back, they still win the division. But if not, if an injury extends for a long period of time, I think this creates some way for the Houston Texans.
So we were doing this fine show called Game Night on Monday night, but that football was going on, and Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback of the Jaguars, went down with the injury. That was an ankle injury. We did not know the severity of it. Now we know it's a high ankle injury, high ankle sprain. We're not sure how much time he's going to miss, but here's what Trevor Lawrence had to say about how he's feeling that opportunity.
I feel a lot better. I feel really, a lot better than I thought I'd feel. I'm very fortunate. I'm thankful that it wasn't a worse injury. It wasn't what I thought it was in the field. So I'm thankful for that. Just some flexibility and a will. My guy in the weight room that trains me and stuff is doing a good job. He's been great. He's doing a good job. And I'm just thankful. I appreciate all the people who thoughts and prayers, and I'm thankful it wasn't anything serious, but that stuff means a lot. I'm feeling good, so I'm thankful.
It looked really bad. Really bad. So that's good to hear for his sake. I'm interested though. I know, he wasn't walking with a boot or crutches, and he said he's feeling good. I wonder how good is he going to feel on Sunday. It's a short week. They have to travel here to Cleveland, where I'm at, to play the Browns. Big game in the AFC. Now every AFC matchup matters because all the teams are so close. So you got to think he'll want to play, but will a 60, 50, 40, whatever percentage he's going to be at, will that be best for the team?
Well, on top of that, is it best for the team to protect him from himself, at least for 1 week? Right? I mean, just to give him a little bit, again, he said it's on a short week. I mean, he can go out there and feel great. Everyone feels great when he doesn't have Myles Garrett or someone else chasing him.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's the reality.
On top of you.
Yeah.
And listen, if his line had trouble, getting pushed back by Trey Hendrickson, which is he's a great defensive end, don't get me wrong. He ain't Myles Garrett. So it may be wise for them to give him the week off, but these games are so valuable. One loss might be the difference between being the AFC South champs or being the 7th seed.
No, I know. I get it, right? And I'm right there. And I know that at the end of the season, it's not about what you do in September and October. It's about November, December, and the first week in January. So I get it. Right now, it's stone cut time, right? You just got to figure out what you're going to be and what you're going to do. And that division is a lot closer than expected. But it's very rare for you to get a high interest rate and you're good to go that next week, especially on a short week. And remember, he suffered the injury not because Myles Garrett sacked him, not because Trey Henderson sacked him, but because his offensive lineman stepped on his foot originally to begin with. So, I mean, anything could happen, and that's where my concern comes in for you, because you know that that's your franchise guy.
4-3. Yeah, you got to be careful with them, you know, because what you don't want is something that might be fine in a full week to linger on. Because then if it lingers on and it's playoff time, and you can't go,